Okay, good evening, everyone. So, welcome back to the session. Okay, that is only intro. Of course, we are going to recap it anyway. Don't worry, because of new topic. I think Kubernetes. You heard previously. Okay. So, in the last session, we have seen Kubernetes, right? So, Kubernetes was introduced by which company initially? Google, but later given to CNCF. What is like when is the first version of Kubernetes comes into the market? 2015. Announcement on 14, but delivered on 2000 at the month of July. Okay, that means this month only. Mm. Okay, so where is this Mumbai? Yeah, here it is. So I'm gonna create a new server, and these two are my running. I'm gonna stop one of them. So guys, from Monday, your class are going to be start at 4:15. Okay, 15, just 15 minutes. 15. 15 minutes ahead of our current session. Okay. So coming to the cluster, in cluster, how many nodes we have? Two nodes. One is master, second one is worker. What are the components of master node? API, etcd, controller and scheduler. Correct or not, sir? Yes. What is the purpose of API server? To communicate with user. Okay. And etcd, database of our cluster. It showed everything about cluster. Third one, scheduler. Purpose of scheduler. To schedule the pods on the nodes actually. Okay. And finally, controller. Control is to control the objects. Correct or not, sir? Yes. So next in worker nodes, how many components are there? Three. What are those? Kubelet, kubeproxy, pod. Right? What is a pod? It's a group of containers which is having the application. Okay. So it is the smallest unit in Kubernetes. It is called as ephemeral. Ephemeral stand for short living objects. Okay. How many containers by default we have on a pod? One. But if you want, we can add more than one. It can be two, three also. Fine. Okay. Yes, Siraj, you are asking something? Nothing, eh? Okay. So to create the cluster, how many type of clusters do we have on Kubernetes, sir? Two. One is self-managed. Second one is cloud-based solution. So in self-managed, first of all, we are starting with Minikube. Minikube is a single node cluster. Everything we have on single node. Master, worker, everything is on single node. Fine. So we do already have the setup. If you go to GitHub, in the GitHub, we have Ramshek 007. We have something called as all setups. Okay. So here what exactly I'm going to do is I have the script. I'll be running this one. Okay. So in Kubernetes, what is the command line tool you are going to use? CLI tool. kubectl. In Kubernetes, we don't have Kubernetes command. That is the reason we need to use kubectl or kubectl. So in last class already we created the pod. Correct or not, sir? So if you delete the pod, are we able to recover the pod? No. That means it's a disadvantage or not? In Docker also, initially we create the container, but if container got deleted, we are not able to recover it. That is the reason we are using the component called services in Docker Swarm. But in Kubernetes, if I have a one pod, if that got deleted, okay, I'm gonna create another pod automatically with the help of replica sets. Which one? Replica sets. So guys, if you get a prompt like this, you can use tab, enter. can use tab, enter. Okay. Again, tab, enter. Okay. So now let's go ahead and see. It's my Minikube actually what I'm trying to use for my container creation. In this Minikube, I'll be going to have a pod itself. Unfortunately, if the pod got deleted, I don't have any other backup to do. Correct or not, sir? So in that case, in the Kubernetes, we have a concept called replica set. Which one? The primary advantage of using replica set is if I delete one pod, automatically second pod will create. And if I delete second pod again, automatically one other pod will create. Like that, how many pods I want, I can create. I have the specifications like this. So now let's go and understand what is the meaning of replica set in the Kubernetes. So let's discuss it now. So go and type replica set. So replica set is nothing but if you create replica set, it is gonna create the pods. So you can specify number of pods as per your requirement. Okay. So it will create a multiple copies of the. That means let's take if I have the pod one. In pod one, my movies application is running. It will create the same exact copy of pod one. That means this pod one and pod two will be having same configuration without any differences. Next, if you delete one pod, automatically a new pod will be created. It is very clear. Already I said, if I delete one pod, automatically second pod will create, and all the pods will be having same configuration. Only the difference will be with the pod names. Only the pod name is going to be differ. Apart from that, everything is going to be same. So now let's go and explore this, how this is going to work. So here you are having two things. One is label. Label is nothing but giving a separate name for each pod. Okay. Basically, pod will have separate name. But if I want to make them as single unit, if I want to make them as single name, I can use something called as label. And next one is selector. Selector main purpose is to select the pod with same label. So I'll explain this one in the practical way. But first of all, let me go and let me start writing the Kubernetes manifest file. Okay. So if you go, my Minikube is running. It's done now. I'll be going and I'll be creating a single pod now. So just to go vim, like I'm gonna give abc.yml. Tell me the manifest file for creating a pod, sir. First of all, we start with API version, and we should be here what? Capital. Correct. Next, here kind. Next, metadata. Finally, spec. So API version, this four will be called as mandatory fields. API version for pod is v1, and kind I'm gonna create a pod. Metadata label I'm gonna give it as pod name. Inside specification, what I'm writing here? Containers information. So give name of the container will be container one, and upon then later you are going to give it as what is image name here? Like let's take Siraj. 321 movies latest. Correct or not, sir? It's the normal manifest file for the pod creation. The same configuration file I'm gonna use for replica set. What I'm gonna use for? But what is the difference of replica set? Means API version for replica set is app/v1. What is the API version of replica set? App/v1. And in kind, what you are creating, I am creating replica set. Sir, Kalto, like you said, for pod it is for pod it is v1, but for replicas it is app/. How can I remember like this? Basically, you need not to remember anything like this. There is a command in Kubernetes called kubectl API resources. If you give this command, in this command, if you can go and see, for the pod, let me show it out improperly. So if you go and see here, here you can see what is the name of the component, what is the shortcut, what is the API version. For example, I want to search for pod. Use the command grep command. Why? Because I want to filter it out. So you just use grep-i pod. For pod here, what is the shortcut? PO. And what is the API version? And here in pod P should be capital. Even for replica set also, here if we go and search for replica sets, what is the API version? app/v1, and in kind I need to use replica set. R and S should be capital. Remember how I am giving the values in the manifest file is by using kubectl API resource that is already predefined. So we need to take values from kubectl API resource, then only we are going to give it up. So first API version is app/v1, kind is replica set. Are the 2 points clear for you now? Yes. So next here I am going to use something called as name of the replica set. Let's take movies. What is the name of the replica set? Movies. Fine. Next here I am going to give something called as labels. What I'm going to give? Labels. What is the label? You know, label I'm giving app is equal to Paytm. What I'm giving? App is equal to Paytm. I'll tell you why I have given labels, but labels. Okay. Sir, here API version is like app/v1, kind is replica set, metadata. You have given the name of the replica set. Replica set name is movies, and label app is equal to Paytm. Why I have given app is equal to Paytm means there is a special thing about this one. So if you go and see, sir, let's take, I want to create 3 pods. How many pods? For movies container. So pod number 1, pod number 2, pod number 3 for movies application. So replica set will create 3 pods. Replica set will create. How it will create means if I give here again spec replicas. Spec replicas is equal to 3. Now it will create how many pods? 3. Now if I give 10, how many it will create? 10. If I give 5, how many it will create? Like that, how many number of pods you want to create for the movie service, you can give it as replicas. Now, if I create 3 pods, how it will work, you know? Let me tell you. For example, pod name 1 will be like this: movies 1 ABC. So the naming conventions are going to happen like this exactly for pod 1. Okay. And if you go for pod 2, the same name will come but with a different numbers. So it is movies 2DEF. 2DEF. And for the third one, pod name will be movies 3GHI. So like this, the names are going to differ. Now how many pods I have? How many different names are there? Just like consider you. You are almost all 30 people here. All of you are having same names or different names? Different names. Now listen to the concept. For example, I came to the class. I said, good evening, Tapas. Good evening, Kiran. Good evening, Siraj. And good evening, some other like Avinash, XYZ. If I keep telling like this, how many times I need to tell good evening? 30 times. But instead of telling good evening by name, if I tell good evening, students, what? All of you are going to respond or not, sir? Here, what I'm using the label called students. If I use label called students, all of you are responding or not? Here, students is the word that is used to combine all of you. Correct or not? Here also, whenever pods are created, these will come with the different names. So in order to make them together, I am going to use something called as label. That label is nothing but app is equal to Paytm. App is equal to, sir, why you are using label means individual pods will have different names. It is very difficult to manage. In order to make them together as a single unit, I am using something called as app is equal to. That is the reason why I have written app is equal to Paytm. Let me rename it as Paytm here. Okay. Of course, labels you can take whatever the name you want. It doesn't need to have Paytm only. You can take whatever you want. It's up to your choice. Okay. So now if you go to the manifest file here, that means in the metadata, the name of the replica set is movies. But for all the pods I'm creating on this replica set, we'll get the common label called app is equal to. Why I'm giving a label app is equal to Paytm? Why? Because different pods will have different names. It is very difficult to manage. So to make them as single unit, I'm using something called as labels. So is it clear for all of you know? Yes. So next here, I'm going to write something called as selector. What I'm going to write? Selector main purpose is to select all the pods which is having same label. I am telling to selector. I am telling to selector, go and match the labels for the pods which is having app is equal to Paytm. Now selector will find all the pods which is having app is equal to. Sir, why it is finding all the pods with same means? Sir, all the pods need to have same configuration or different configuration? Same configuration. So I am writing here something called as template. What I am writing? Template. Template main purpose is to give the same configuration for all the pods. So for the template, I am telling that template like here. Okay. So template, go for metadata. What I am going for? Metadata. So go for metadata. In the metadata, again give the label. App is equal to what? Paytm. So for the pod which is having app is equal to Paytm, give same configuration for all the pods. Now all the pods will get container name as container1, image as Siraj 321. So this is how exactly the Kubernetes replica set is going to work for you. So the same thing I am going to give it for you. So let me copy it from here and give it for you. I'll explain everything for you one more time, guys. So don't need to worry. First of all, API version for replica set is app/v1 kind replica set. So here in the metadata, I'm giving the name of the replica set is as, and coming to the labels, I'm giving app is equal to Paytm. What is the primary functionality of the label, sir? Tell me. To give the common name for all the pods. Here, individual pods are difficult to manage because they have different names. So we need to give a common label to group them and work them as together. So that is the reason why we are going to use label. Okay. So here now I am going to create 3 replicas. For the 3 replicas, like 3 pods, I am going to give the same label called app is equal to Paytm. Coming to selector. For selector, I am writing here match label. Selector, go and match the labels for all the pods which is having app is equal to movies. And coming to the template, the reason why I am asking template is template main purpose is to give the common configuration for all the pods. Now here you are creating 3 pods. 3 pods need to have same configuration or different configuration, sir. So I am telling to template, go and give the metadata called labels app is equal to Paytm. Now, if you find any pod with app is equal to Paytm label, for every pod give specification, containers name as container1 and image as so and so image. So here we take Siraj image, but of course it is also one of the image I use it for my previous section. So like this. First of all, replica set will create replicas. After creating them, now we are going to filter. Why I'm going to filter? To give the common template. Okay. Like this, how it is going to follow. RFT. So replica set will filter out the pods. Why to filter? To give the common template. So like this. So now if I go in, give the command kubectl create -f abc.yml. So here it is telling that selector does not have template. Wait, I need to change here something. Let me change it. So here app is equal to Paytm. I need to rename. Why? Because here app is equal to movies is there. Let me rename to Paytm. Now you go and see replica set got created. The command to list out the replica set is kubectl get replica set. But the shortcut is kubectl get rs. That is a shortcut. How many replicas you are having? 3. Sir, if I want to get some additional information, put -o void. Are you getting for all the replicas you are having will have same container name and same image name? That means is it properly given same configuration or not, sir? Yes. And what is the selector here? App is equal to Paytm. Now, if I want complete information, kubectl describe replica set. Name of the replica set will be. Are you getting the complete information now? Yes. And here, if I go and check kubectl get pod, kubectl get pod. Are you getting the pods? How many pods are there? 3. If you can see here, as per my diagram, whatever the pod I have given, first name is common, but last digits are changing or not, sir? Here also for this pod, first name is common. It is the name of the replica set and it is some random string. Okay. So now if I go and give the command kubectl delete pod and name of the pod, automatically it will create a new pod or not, sir? And the functionality is before deleting the first pod, it will create the new pod. Once new pod come up, then only existing pod will go. It is the background behavior of Kubernetes. So if I delete the pod, first of all, is it going to delete the pod or is it going to create the new pod? Create the new pod, then only it will delete the existing pod. Do you want to see it lively? Okay. So I'll show it lively. So if I go here and if I connect this to one more terminal, let me take the duplicate tab. In the duplicate tab, I'll be showing it now. So currently, if you can go and see kubectl get PO, are you seeing 3 pods are running now? Now again, it come with a different pod name. Now just go and see, sir. In the second tab, I'm open the second terminal. This is very, very depth concept. You need to see it now lively. I'm gonna connect it. Okay. So I'll go here and I'll go and delete the pod. So kubectl delete pod and name of the pod. But before I execute this command, I'll go here and I'll take that multi-execution mode. Okay. And I'll show to how to see the pods lively. In real time, if I want to see the pods lively, give the command kubectl get PO watch. Watch is the command to show something lively. Okay. I am excluding this one. I'm excluding this one here. Now in this terminal I'm working. Go and give sudo -i. Give the command kubectl get PO -watch -. Now after running this command, now go and see if I delete this pod, see. First of all, is it creating a new container itself? Before deleting the existing pod, it is going to create a new pod. Then only the pod is going to delete. See. First of all, pod come to pending state, new pod. From pending to it is creating the container. And after the pod is running safely, then only this old pod is going to delete. So is it a safer way to create new pods or not, sir? Yes. Why? Because before deleting the existing pod, our new pod is creating. This kind of behavior is called as rolling strategy. Now see, after the new pod coming to running status, then only it is going to terminate. That's it. So now it is the way how the pods are going to behave in the real-time aspect. Now go and give kubectl get PO. Are you getting 3 of them are running? Are you able to see it or not? Yes. So this is the concept of the replica set. Now is the replica set concept clear for all of you? Online, can you please confirm me, is the concept of replica set clear for all of you or not? And one more thing, you need not to by heart any code. Why? Because every code will be available on official documentation. If you go to the kubernetes.io or type here Kubernetes replica set. Go and check out here. Here you have the same code what I'm using. Are you seeing the same code now? So in real time also, we don't by heart the code. We'll take the code from official documentation, we'll use it. So I'm telling you one formula for the Kubernetes. Don't try to remember the code. Code is not greater than concept. Your concept is greater than code. In interview also, nobody is going to ask you to write the code. Everybody will ask the concepts. So please don't focus on the code. Please focus on the concept. That's it. Yes, data is also going to be removed and again new pod will come with the same data, Durga. Fine. So is the point clear for whatever I said now? Online, can you please confirm me? Now is the concept clear for all of you or not? What is replica set and like why we need to use it? Okay, fine. And one of the higher advantage of replica set is nothing but we can scale up also. What we can do? Scale up. So how to scale up means kubectl scale RS. RS stand for replica set. What is the name of the replica set? Movies --- replicas is equal to 10. I want how many now? Now give the command kubectl get RS. How many replicas you have? Give the command kubectl get PO. Are you seeing new replicas just now created or not, sir? This is what we can call as scale in a scale out. Scale in. And if you want to scale out, so again, same concept. Now instead of 10, just to give 3 or just to give 5. Now again it is going to follow LIFO pattern, last in first out pattern. So now again if you go and give the command kubectl will get RS, how many replicas it came to? Sir, it is happening on seconds or not, sir? Within seconds your operation is performing. And even if you get kubectl will get P1 now, see whatever the pod that is came lastly, that is going to terminate first itself, like this. So this is what we can call as scale in and scale out. Okay. So to list the replica set, command is nothing but kubectl get RS, or you can get kubectl get replica set. And to show additional information, kubectl get RS -o. Why? To get complete information, kubectl describe RS, name of the replica set. To delete the replica set, what is the command? Kubectl delete RS. I'll show you how to delete the replicas. But before that, sir, how to check the labels of a pod? So basically, if I use kubectl get PO, I'll get the pods actual. But where I can get the labels? Hyphen show labels. Are you getting the labels now? Now all these pods are managing as a single unit. For example, if I want to delete multiple pods, what I can do? Kubectl delete pod 1, pod 2, and pod 3. So I need to give like this. For example, if I have 100 pods, do I need to give 100 names, sir? It is gonna very difficult or not, sir? So that is the reason I'm using kubectl delete pod with labels app is equal to. Now this command will delete all the pods which is going to have app is equal to Paytm. Is it deleting or not, sir? That is the reason why I ask you to take labels. If you don't take this label, what is going to happen? You need to delete the pods individually, which is going to take a lot of time. Correct or not, sir? Yes. Of course, even though if you delete, that is going to recreate. Why? Because we have the replica set. Even though if you delete them again, it is going to recreate. But again, the primary intention of the labels is to manage the multiple pods together. Okay. To delete pods with labels. It is the command. Okay. Fine. Now, if I go and give kubectl get PO, are you getting 5 pods now? How these 5 pods are recreated with the help of replica set. So, in last class, we seen about controller. For replica set, we have something called as replication controller. Which one? That replication controller will make sure that we are running the desired pods as per our requirement in the background. Fine. Sir, now if you tell me when compare with pods, is replica set is a good object or not, sir? Good object or not? But again, we have a drawback. What do we have? What is the drawback? If you try to update the application in replica set will not update the applications. Replica set is just to create a copy of a pod. Just to create a copy of a pod. But if I try to update the application, it won't update. For example, currently which application I'm running here? Paytm movies. So if I want to make it Paytm train, that won't happen. If you want me to show it lively, I'll show it lively. So if we can go and see, currently give the command kubectl describe pod grep -i image. What is the purpose of this one? Oh, wait, kubectl describe pod grep -i I need to give -i. So for every of the pod, what is the image here? Movies, 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 movies. Are you seeing movies image everywhere? For every pod, we are having movies image. Okay. So to make it very easy, I'm going to scale down the replicas. Why? Because here you are having 5. So I'm going to scale it to 2. So kubectl scale replicas, I'll scale it to 2 for your even better clarity. Now if I use the command kubectl get PO, how many pods are running now? 2, and rest of them are terminating. So terminating will take some time. Okay, let's wait until it got terminated. What is the command to get the complete information of a pod? Kubectl describe. But if I want to get only image information, can we use grep or not, sir? Already we've seen a lot of examples in a lot of tools regarding this. Okay. So currently you are having 2. So I'm using kubectl describe pod. Okay. Use the command grep -i image. For these two pods, what is the image we are using now? Movies image, and here also movies image. Correct or not, sir? And you can search with image ID also. Okay. Instead of image, you can go and search with image ID. Oh, but here the thing is, you need to give colon. Of course, I have given I, right? I is 2. Instead of image ID. Okay, here the thing is, it is having space now, it is not taking. Basically, whenever if you are searching for object, you should not give space actually. But this is by default having space. It's okay. Fine, you can ignore. So now I can give the command kubectl edit replica set. What I am editing? What is the name of the replica set? Movies. So instead of having Paytm movies, okay, name of the image Paytm movies, I'm gonna make it as Paytm try. So when I make it, automatically the update has been successfully given to the pods or not, sir? But still, even if I go and check the image, still the image is what we are having. Is it trying to update? No, replica's main purpose is to just to create the copy of existing pod. But if you try to update the application, replicas are not going to helpful in this case. It is only helpful to make the number of copies of a pod. Now in this case, is replica set really helpful for us? No. Why? Because the majority of the background we are having is it cannot roll in. We cannot roll in and we cannot roll out. That means we cannot update the application, we cannot downgrade the application. Correct or not, sir? That is the drawback. And coming to the advantages, we are having self-healing and we are having the scaling properties. So we have two advantages and one disadvantage. But in real time, we need to update the application for every month or not, sir? So in that case, is replica set is going to helpful for you? No. What is the primary function of replica set? To create the n number of copies for the pod. Apart from that, you don't do anything. So is the concept of replicas clear for all of you, first of all? Online, can you please confirm me, is the concept of replica set clear for all of you or not? Can you please confirm in the chat box once? If it is clear, I'll go for the next advancement of replica sets. Which one you want me to explain? Which part? Which part? Complete part, huh? Is it not clear for you? No, basically, if you are having any doubt, I can clear the doubt. But it's almost 30 minutes I started explaining the replicas. If you want me to explain the whole part, again, it will take 30 minutes or not. So while I'm explaining, just try to listen. Why? Because I can clear the doubts. But the entire concept, if I want me to repeat now, it will take a lot of time. Of course, I can repeat. But if it is keep going to habituate for you, our course will go for 4 to 5 months. Okay. It's connected to? No, it is new class. There is no any like relation for last class and today's class. In last class, I said only about pod. But today I am teaching about replica set. Okay. But if you don't attend the last class, it's gonna be confusing for you. That's for sure. So then you need to take videos, man, definitely. Okay. Yeah, Akhil, you are having doubt. Huh? Please go ahead, Akhil.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Akhil.
Yeah. So replica is for all pods, right? Only pods we are creating the replicas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any change in the application in the sense, any updates in the pod, so that will not affect the replicas. What you're saying, right?
If you do anything, updates or downgrade, it is not going to happen to the replicas. Okay. So if you want to make that happen, so you are going to use the next concept called deployment. I'm going to show you now.
So for replica, suppose we created 3 replicas for
Okay.
application and we deleted all the 3, then immediately it will create
Immediately it
the
will come. If you
3.
delete pods, pods will
Yeah.
be recreated. But if you delete replica set, it is not going to recreate. Let me show you on this way. Akhil, you will be getting clarity. Guys, currently how many pods I'm having? If you delete the pods are going to recreate. But if I delete replica set, so now pods are not going to recreate. So kubectl delete rs and name of the replica set will be. Now go and see. You don't have any replica set. Replica set gone or not, sir? If replica set gone, pods will be gone. Okay. I hope it is clear for you, Akhil, now.
So it will not create. The replicas will not create
Yeah,
automatically.
replica set, if you delete, it is not going to recreate again.
Only it is only for the pods.
Pod level, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. So now the next part is nothing but your deployment. Sir, in replica set, you cannot able to update the application, but in deployment, you can do. So deployment will create the replica set, and now replica set will create the pod. So deployment can update the application, which cannot done by the replica set. Replica set and deployment will have the same properties, but the high level advantage is replica set cannot able to update the application, but deployment can able to do. Apart from that, everything will be same. Okay. So it is the higher level of Kubernetes object. And one of the best thing about the deployment, if you write the manifest file for replica set, need not write manifest file for deployment. Only thing you are gonna change is instead of replica set, put here deployment. That is the only change. Now go and give kubectl create -f abc.yml. Now what got created? Deployment. Kubectl to list the deployment. Which one we need to use? Kubectl. To list anything, we need to use get only. What we need to use? Get deployment. And shortcut is nothing but deploy. If I want to get some additional information, -o void. No, sir, if I want to get complete information, kubectl describe deploy. Name of the deploy will be Moise. Are you getting the complete information of this one now? Now go and check. Kubectl get PO. How many pods are there? 3. For all of these pods, I want to check the image. I can use -o void. If I use -o void, I'll be getting IP address and node name only. But if you want to get some additional information, can use kubectl describe pod and grep -i image. So for each of the image, movies. Now what I'll try to do, kubectl, I'm trying to editing. What I'm trying here? What I'm editing? Deployment. What is the name of the deployment? It is same command. So kubectl edit is common. If you want to edit pod, put pod and name of the pod. If you want to edit replica set, put replica set, name of the replica set. But if you want to edit deployment, put deployment and name of the deployment. So go here. Now instead of Paytm movies, I'm gonna change it to Paytm Train itself. So replace the movies and give it as Train. So now if you go and see, is it edited now? So previously, what is the image you are seeing? Movies. Now see, kubectl get PO. Automatically, your old pods will terminate and it will create a new pod. Are you seeing it now? But is this happened on replica set? No. And wait until the pods are terminated. Why? Because I'll show you the perfect image now. Why? Because if you try to grep now, it will show the complete images, which is 6 pod images. I want only 3 running pod images. Okay. And one more thing, basically, I got this one interview requirement for this upcoming week actually. Basically, I thought of sharing with you, but it's 2.8 LPA with 3 years of bond. So I don't want to share this one for you. Why? Because for 2.8, you are not going to work for 3 years. It's not a good one. That is the reason I stopped. Okay. So now if you go and see, I think the camera is on. Kubectl get PO. Are you seeing 3 pods are running now? And use the command describe image. What is the image now? Fine. Are you able to update the image or not, sir? But is this happen with the Kubernetes replica set? That means which one is better now, replica set or deployment? Deployment. What is the advantage of deployment over replica set? Deployment will update the image. Sir, again, if I want to come back to my previous state, I can be able to do it. How means? Go and give. I mean, this you can do on two ways. You can edit or you can do rollout command. What you can do? Kubectl, edit. What I am editing now? Deployment. What is the name of the deployment? So now come here and instead of Paytm train, I'm gonna give Paytm recharge. Let's take recharge or DTH. Anything is fine. DTH. Is it modified now? Now again, if I go and give the command kubectl get PO. Now you can see old pods are terminating and new pods are creating. If you go and see, are you seeing it now? And even if you want to see it lively, it is a lively you can able to see 0 seconds ago. That means just now happened. Okay. Your old pods will be terminated and your new pods will be created. So you need to wait until the old pods terminated and then we can go for the grep command to filter out the running pod images. Tapas, you are asking. First of all, it will create the new pod. Then it will terminate the old pod. First, we will try to attend and crack. I think Chandu, you are from online, right? But the interview is on offline mode. Okay. No, you cannot do it, man. If you try to break the bond, they are not gonna give the. It's not like that. Okay. So now go and check grep hyphen image. What is the image here you are seeing now? DTH. DTH. That means you are trying to update the application or not, sir? But is the same feature support for the replica set? No, that's it. And apart from that, you can scale also. Kubectl scale, deploy. What is the name of the deployment? Hyphen replicas is equal to 10. Now automatically you can see the 10 pods. No, sir, I want to scale down. Again, same command. Instead of 10, go for 2 or 3. Anything is fine. Now, if you can go and see, you will be seeing only 2 running pods. So, running pod number 1 and running pod number 2. That means whatever replica set can do, deployment can do the same thing. But what is the advantage of using deployment over replica set? You are going to update the application. That means roll in and roll out is possible with the help of deployment. That is what you need to understand. So in real time, you are going to use deployment. If you use deployment, deployment will create the replica set and replica set will create the pods. That is the thing. See, I create the deployment now. Even though if I give kubectl get RS, replica set is coming. Are you seeing the replica set newly created? How this got created? This got created from the deployment actually. Let me tell you in this way. If I create pod, only pod will create. But if I create replica set, this replica set will go and create the pods. But if I create the deployment, this deployment will go and create the replica set and replica set will go and create the, that is the interlinking. But among them, which one is high priority we need to give it for? Deployment. Why? Because deployment will create number of pods and it can scale in, it can scale out, it can also able to update the application. But replica set and pods will have these kind of features? No. So this is a very high level overview about the concept of replica set and deployment. So now is the concept of difference between replica set and deployment clear for everybody here? All of you. Online, can you please confirm me, is the difference between replica set and deployment clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat box? Yeah, Tapas ask. Where it is coming? This is the name, right? Name I am not changing now. See, if I go here and give cat abc.yml. Here, what is the name here? That is the reason. If I change this to train, that is also going to come with train. Okay, it doesn't matter whatever you are giving here. Image name. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Online, I'm not getting proper response from you. Only 2 of you are saying it is cleared, but I'm not sure about guys, I'm telling you, if you can't take the Kubernetes subject properly, it's gonna be very, very difficult for you. Okay. Recently, Srinath got placed, right? The reason he placed it, you know why? He explained the Kubernetes architecture end-to-end in a cleared manner. That is the only one tool he got from the interviewer. That is the reason I am asking. Kubernetes is very, very important. Try to listen it very, very carefully. Okay. So online, if I won't get proper response from you, then I'll be on a like I can't able to track whether you are following or not. Okay. So try to give the proper response when I'm asking. Fine. So the next one is gonna be how to delete the Kubernetes deployment. kubectl delete, deploy. That you can do. Okay. But before that, I want to show some other command called as rollout commands. Which commands? Rollout. But give me a second. I'll tell what is the rollout command here. So kubectl rollout history. What I'm using? History of the which rollout I want. I want to get the rollout of deployment. Which one? Deployment call movies. That means how many times you change the deployment. How many times we change it? You can ask me, sir, what are the 3 times? First one, you create the deployment. First one, you create the deployment. That is with movies image. From movies to train. Have you changed it or not, sir? How many changes here? 1 change. From train to DTH. How many changes here? 2 times. Sir, after the DTH, we haven't changed anything. But what is the third one? Means initially you are having some X replicas. You have done scale in and scale out or not, sir? That is also going to be one of the change here. So like that, you are going to list out how many times your deployment has been modified. Currently tell me what is the image we are using for the deployment here? DTH, right? If you want me to show kubectl get deploy -o void, you can see the image like this. Are you seeing DTH now? If I use the command kubectl rollout instead of history, I'm gonna use the word called undo. What I'm gonna use? Undo. Undo means it is gonna go back to previous state. That means from DTH to will come back to train. Let's go and check. Is it rolled back or not, sir? If it is rolled back, now I try to check the images. What is the image here? Simply we can roll back or not, sir? And again, if I use the same command, kubectl rollout undo. Now again from train to I'll be going back to no DTH. Rollback I can do only once. Second time, third time I cannot go. Okay. First of all, you are from DTH. From DTH to you came to train. Now from train to again you'll go to see now. What is the image now? Within the single command, you can be able to update and downgrade the application or not, sir. So it is the easiest way to do rollback. But if you want to do the rollback in monolithic project, it will take a lot of time. You need to run the entire pipeline to deploy the rollback application. But here within single command, you can be able to do it. So kubectl rollout is the common command and deploy movies is the common. But in the middle, if you want to see how many number of rollouts, you can do history. Now see, previously history was 3, but now how many times I have rolled out? 2. So 3 plus 2 will be, check it out, kubectl rollout history deployments. How many times you are seeing it now? 5 times you are able to see it or not, sir? Like that. Sir, I don't want to roll back anymore. I don't want to. In that case, kubectl rollout, you can use something called as pause. What you can use? Pause. But before that, I'll tell you the status actually. Status means it is rolled back properly or not, sir. Successfully rolled out or not, sir? It is to check the status, whether your rollout is successfully done or do you have any of the limitations. Now, sir, if I don't want to do rollout anymore, once you deploy the application version 1, you don't want to go to version 2 and version 3. So in that case, you can use something called as pause. While you pause the deployment, if I try to roll out now, so kubectl rollout undo. If I try to roll out now, undo. What is happening? You cannot roll back. Why? Because you didn't pause status. Which status? If I want to do it, instead of pause, I need to use resume. What I need to use? Resume. Resume means again you can do rollout roll-in operation. Now go ahead and check, do rollout and roll-in. So kubectl rollout undo. You are able to roll back or not, sir? And check the status by using kubectl rollout status. This is successfully done now. Like that. So these are the 5 very, very important commands you need to use for rollout. Remember, you need not remember the entire command. kubectl rollout is common and the name of the deployment is also common. History will tell how many number of times you rolled out. Undo will be able to go back to the previous version. Status will show the status is successfully rolled out or not. Pause is to pause the rollout and the resume is to do the ongoing process. So these are the 5 important commands which you are going to use for the Kubernetes rollouts. So in today's class, what are the topics we have discussed? First of all, we started with replica set. What is the primary function of replica set? To create the copies of the same pods. But what it cannot do, sir? It cannot update the application. But updating can be done by which component? Deployment. Deployment can do whatever the things done by replicas, correct or not? But the only difference is it can update the application. Right. That's it. And deployment is also having self-healing and scaling property. Even though if you delete any pod, that is going to recreate. By default, if I delete a pod in replica set or deployment, what is the first thing Kubernetes is going to do? It will create a new pod before deleting the existing one. Okay. Then only we are going to delete the existing pod itself. So is the concept of replicas and deployment clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm? Is it clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat box? Okay. So it's clear from all of you. So now you go ahead. Yeah, tell me what's the doubt. Like I'm giving you time now. Just go and ask. In the middle for every 10 minutes, I'll give the time for you to doubts and queries. Okay. Template. See, template is to give common configuration for all the pods. That means all the pods will have same container, same image. And label is to filter. So all the pods which is having, okay, I need to make them as single unit. How I make them as single unit? By the help of label. Here that is what I have written very, very clearly. If you go to the top, in the top section, I have written this one. Let me show it out for you. Give me a second. The top section, if you go and see labels, like read this one for me, Tapas. What is this one? Different names. Next. So if you go and see, if I go and give the command kubectl get PO, how many pods we are having? 2 pods. Same name or different name? Different name. So if I want to make them as single, how I can make them with the help of labels only? Okay. For example, if I want to describe both of them, kubectl describe pod, and I need to give the pod name number 1 and I need to give the pod name number 2. If I have 100 pods, can I give 100 names like this? No. Instead of that one, I can use kubectl describe the pods which is having label called app is equal to Paytm. Now this is gonna describe all the pods which is having app is equal to Paytm only. Am I doing my work very, very easily or not? So to work with multiple pods together, you are going to give the common label. Okay. Is it clear for you now? And selector is one of the component which is going to find the pods which is having same label itself. Yeah, fine. So now replicas done and also deployment is also done. So now I'm going to tell one shortcut for all of you. What is a difficult command to remember in Kubernetes till now? Tell me any one command if it is difficult to remember for you. Nothing to know. Okay, I'll tell you one shortcut actually. For commands, we can use shortcut, you know. If I use kubectl get pod, how many words? Words. 3. That is a command to get the list of pods. kubectl get pods, right? Or if I want to get kubectl get replica sets, I can use kubectl get RS, but I am not going to use this anymore. I can use KGP. That is going to show me the list of pod. That is kubectl get pods. Is it working? No. To get the replicas, kubectl get replicas. Is it working? No, but I am going to make them work. How means? With the help of dot bash rc. If you go to dot bash rc, if you can go and say, are you seeing alias here? Alias. Alias are nothing but nicknames actually. Okay. So I'm going to take alias KGP. That means it is equal to kubectl get pods. That's it. In the same way, alias KGR. That means kubectl get replicas. So I'm going to give kubectl get RS. Same way, KGD. That means kubectl get deploy. Okay. So I can use kubectl get deploy. That means instead of running this full command, go and run this shortcut now. Automatically, you can see the output. Let me show you. So save this one and give the command source dot bash rc. Now give the command. Previously, I give the KGP. Is it working previously? But is it working now? Previously, I give KGR. Is it worked then? No. But is it working or not, sir? This is the way how you are going to put the shortcuts for the any command. Even in Ansible also you can put. In Ansible, what is the command to run the playbook? Ansible hyphen playbook, name of the playbook. Just to give Ansible run, AR. That command will work. In Docker, what is the command to get the list of containers? Docker PS. Now use DPS, Docker PS, automatically that will get. You can do everything whatever you want with the help of the alias. Which one? Basically, it's not a part of your syllabus, but I just shared for your knowledge itself. Okay. So command for shortcut. Commands for shortcuts. And you can put whatever shortcuts you want, guys. You can put your name also. If you put tapas, that will come actually. If you want me to show me, like I'll show you. Go to dot bash rc and after that give these commands actually. So these commands, and you can set this in the line number 86, in which like we can set wherever you are seeing alias, just go and give there. Okay. Yeah, VIM editor it is. Source dot bash. Huh? Oh, like for example, use it today. You stop at the server, and tomorrow if you want to use it, you can use it. So dot bash rc and give the command kgr kgp like this. No, sir, I don't want to give kgr and kgp. I want to give the to list out the pods. I want to give the name as tapas. What I want to give? Tapas. Now again, after changing it, give the command source dot bash rc. If you don't give this one, it is not gonna work. So give tapas now. Get in the pods. Ah, you are a brand. Eh? Okay. So guys, let me tell you, in real time, we don't use the complete commands. It's very, very boring work. I never use complete commands. I'll create my own shortcuts and I'll use the shortcuts like this, which will save a lot of time for me. If you terminate server, how will server log in, sir? How will you log into server? For every server, you need to set it up. Whichever server you want to work, for every server, you are going to set it up manually. Okay. B plus. That will also run. See, if I use KGR, that is kubectl get replicas, even though I can use kubectl get RS, that is also going to run. Are you getting it now? You can use any one of them. Yes. What is the meaning of alias? Alias means nicknames. Instead of calling it as full name, you can call it a shortcut. Depends upon your choice. So remember, in real time, whoever is working in real time, I will advise everyone to set up the shortcuts like this. Well, because in real time, Your work is to not to type the commands. Your work is to make automate and to save a lot of time in real time. Okay. So this is enough for today. So now coming to the interview questions here, from today's point of view, let's go and discuss what are the interview questions we'll get. First question is, what is replica set in Kubernetes? Replica set will create the copy of the pods itself. If you delete one pod, automatically it will create the another pod. What is deployment in replica set? Deployment is the high level object in Kubernetes. First of all, you need to say this one. Deployment is a high level object in. If you create deployment will create replicas, and replica set will create the pods. If you try to update the application, deployment can do it, and we can roll in and roll out also. So difference between replica set and deployment. Tell me what is them? RS cannot update the application, but deployment can update. So what is rollout in Kubernetes? To deal the deployments, to update or to downgrade, to check the status, everything. If you want to perform operation with the deployment, you can use the command rollout. So these are the commands what we're gonna see in today's session. The rollback access is there. You can call it as rollout. Okay. Fine. So now before going for doubts and queries, first of all, how's the class for all of you today? Is the class clear for everyone? Got the complete clarity? All in. What about you guys? Is the session clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat box once? Okay. Fine. So now if you are having any kind of doubts or any queries, you can ask me now. And from Monday, I said in the starting also, from Monday, our class timings are going to start from 4:15 to 5:40. Okay. Tomorrow class is there. Tomorrow same time, 4:30. Tomorrow is same time. Okay. So I'll go and upload this one. So now online, if you are having any doubts or any queries, you can raise your hands, and offline you can go ahead now. Online, any queries? Cubecast is one of the two which I'm going to show on like your upcoming days. Basically, I set up the Cubecast actually, but I'll show you in the upcoming days for you how the Cubecast will look. I have this set up on other laptop. Okay, I'll show it for you. Minikube is single node cluster. Cubecast will show you the cost you are going to spend for this cluster. It's not a part of your syllabus, but I'll show you tomorrow. This is on some other laptop actually. Tomorrow I'll bring some other laptop and I'll show you. Okay, how I set up the Cubecast and how you can do this in your real time actually. First of all, you listen to the day one class, you'll get some clarity. Okay, if you skip the day one class, everything is gonna be mess up for you. Okay then, so that's it for today guys. Let's meet on tomorrow's session. Have a great day. Bye. Thank you.